Hello, welcome to Money Gist. I'm Oluyemisi and here are the top stories for you today. Nigeria's power sector is drowning in debt, 5.6 trillion naira to be exact. Gas suppliers are cutting out fuel, power plants are struggling, and the national grid is once again at risk. Could we be heading for another round of nationwide blackouts? Here's the situation. From January to August this year alone, power generation companies known as GenCos racked up an extra 1.6 trillion naira debt, bringing the total to 5.6 trillion naira. Now, gas producers, who get about 60% of GenCos revenue, are reducing supply because they are simply not being paid, and without gas, the turbines can't run. This crisis is already hitting hard. Earlier this week, the grid collapsed again, leaving the entire country in darkness. While partial restoration has brought back around 4,000 megawatts, many plants are still underperforming. The GenCos say they send out invoices of about 270 billion naira every month, but only 70 billion naira is actually paid. That leaves 200 billion naira outstanding every month. President Bola Tinubu did meet with GenCos back in July, promising a 4 trillion naira bond to clear part of the debt. But nearly 2 months later, there has been no follow-up. And the GenCos warned that promissory notes or bonds proposals won't cut it unless the details are clear and cash is actually flowing. Bottom line, patriotism alone can't power plants. Without urgent reforms backed by real money, Nigeria risks sinking deeper into darkness with serious consequences for homes, businesses, and the economy at large. So what do you think? Will the government finally step up to rescue the power sector, or are Nigerians stuck in a cycle of blackouts? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe for more updates and stories that actually affect your daily life. On the bright side, there's big news for your phone bills, Nigeria. The federal government has just scrapped the 5% excise duty on telecom services. Yep, that extra charge you've been paying on calls and data is gone. The announcement came through the National Orientation Agency, quoting the Nigerian Communications Commission. According to the NCC boss, President Bola Tinubu personally ordered the removal while reviewing the new Finance Act. Now, let's rewind. This tax was introduced back in 2022 under President Buhari. It slapped 5% on voice calls and data subscriptions. And right from day one, it faced heavy backlash. Telecom operators said it was bad for business. Consumer groups said it was bad for wallets. Remember, Nigerians had already been hit with a 50% tariff increase earlier this year, plus inflation is still biting. So what does scrapping it mean? Relief for over 171 million active telecom users across the country. It's also a win for businesses that rely on affordable internet to stay connected. Analysts say this move balances revenue needs with the welfare of citizens while boosting Nigeria's digital economy. In simple terms, expect your voice calls and data to cost a little less going forward. It's part of Tinubu's bigger plan to reduce multiple taxation and open up more room for tech, e-commerce, and financial inclusion. Now tell me, what will you do with a lighter data bill? Stream more, work more, or just scroll TikTok in peace? All right. Nigeria's oil storage just hit a speed breaker. After 2 straight months of finally meeting its OPEC production targets, crude output slipped again in August, sliding to 1.43 million barrels per day. That's not only below July's 1.5 million barrels, but also the lowest level we've seen in 6 months. Now, why the drop? The usual suspects: crude theft, pipeline vandalism, and some nagging technical issues at export terminals. All of this put Nigeria back under its OPEC quota of about 1.5 million barrels a day. And here is why it matters. Crude still accounts for over 80% of Nigeria's export revenues. Missing output targets isn't just an industry headache, it's a budget problem. Remember, the federal government is counting on higher oil earnings to fund the 2025 spending plan. The NNPC says it's pushing to ramp up production to at least 1.7 million barrels per day by year end. Their playbook: tighter security in the Niger Delta, fresh investment in upstream projects, and some much-needed reforms. But oil watchers aren't fully sold. They warn that without tackling deep-seated infrastructure decay and security lapses, hitting that 1.7 million target will be easier said than done. Bottom line, Nigeria's oil sector may be showing signs of life, but sustaining momentum is still very much a work in progress. Nigeria's 2025 spending plan is about to kick off, and the government is calling it the Budget of Restoration. The Director General of the Budget Office, Tinubu Yakubu, says implementation will start by the end of September, even as the 2024 fiscal plan winds down. Now, this 55 trillion naira package is designed to boost growth, improve public services, and woo investors. But Yakubu admits effective execution and discipline will be the real test. Top hurdles: setting realistic oil revenue targets, navigating the Petroleum Industry Act, cleaning up tax credit schemes, and servicing a whopping 14.3 trillion naira debt. Yakubu also stressed citizen participation. Think translating budget documents into local languages, simplifying technical jargons, and empowering communities to keep the government accountable. Longer term, Abuja wants Nigeria's economy to hit the $1 trillion mark by 2030 through world-level projects, tax reforms, and partnerships like a $30.9 million Nigeria-Japan startup initiative. Budget Minister Atiku Bagudu insists policies must be data-driven, while the Statistician General Adeyemi Adeniran called for more funding for accurate national stats because you can't plan with shaky numbers. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Wale Edun says the extended 2024 budget has hit about 80% performance, but delays in capital projects still raise questions about whether the 2025 plan might spill into 2026. For now, all eyes are on September's rollout. Can the budget of restoration truly restore confidence and set Nigeria on the path to sustained growth? Share your thoughts in the comment section. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has just kicked off a brand new strategy to reshape how payments work in the country. It's called Nigeria Payment System Vision 2028, PSV 2028 for short, and it's designed to make our financial system more inclusive, more innovative, and globally competitive. At the launch in Lagos, the CBN's payments chief, Musa Etopa Jemo, called it a national assignment, one that could transform how individuals, businesses, and even government interact with money in a digital economy. Now, this isn't Nigeria's first rodeo. From reforms that started way back in 2006 through PSV 2020 and the soon-to-expire PSV 2025, the country has made big strides in payments. But with technology racing ahead, PSV 2028 is about building a system that's future-ready, secure, efficient, and able to compete on the global stage. The plan is very inclusive. Regulators, banks, fintechs, payment companies, and even consumer groups will all have a seat at the table. 6 thematic working groups are being set up, focusing on things like infrastructure, interoperability, financial inclusion, digital ID, cross-border payments, cybersecurity, and yes, communications. Industry veterans like former NIBSS boss Ajao Niyi are already applauding the move, calling it a new standard for collaboration. Bottom line, PSV 2028 is more than just policy. It's the roadmap for Nigeria's digital payments over the next 3 years. If it works as planned, it could push Nigeria to the front of Africa's fintech race while making everyday transactions simpler, safer, and smarter. It's what we all want. And that's all the money gist I've got for you today. In our next video, we'll break down all you need to know about the Tax Acts and Tax ID taking effect from next year. If you want to stay ahead on Nigeria's business and finance updates, hit that subscribe button and join the conversation. I'm Oluyemisi. See you in the next video.